Right then, people, we're back inside the building. Welcome back to Trickstar Radio. It's just gone 9:05 here. Really enjoyable start to the day, loads of bangers, and that one introducing today's guest, which I'm very excited to do. Man like Usual Suspect is on the line. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, good, mate. Morning.
Good to have you on the show, man. Good to have you on the show. Are you normally up this early, or is this a bit of a one-off?
Yeah, it's a one-off, man. I mean, I work late normally, but go to the gym pretty late, so I usually sleep in. But I thought I'd get up especially for you. So
you're a star, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on, man. I've been looking forward to this one. Obviously, we've known each other for quite a while in regards to kind of you putting music out through South Point, and obviously a bit of kind of general sort of admin-y stuff we've both worked on together. And it's been good. It's been good, man. It's been good. So what I want to kind of do, obviously, with this show, we have a lot of guests from a lot of different backgrounds join us in regards to the music they make, their sort of roles within the music industry, or just whatever industry they're in. So I want to kind of get a bit of background so everyone is entirely aware of the sort of context of today's interview. So for those who aren't aware, who is Usual Suspect?
Right, I mean, it's a pretty long story saying now, I guess. I mean, really, I got into actually doing music and stuff. I started making sounds before I was making music. Initially I heard, Cohen Sound, the artist duo. They were
of course.
The first people that got me into it. Like, I was listening to their music, it was these crazy sounds, and I was like, I just want to make those sounds. So that's what I was doing when I was like, 14, 15. And then, it wasn't until I actually got into uni where I started properly like developing into bassline, which is what created Usual Suspect. Because before that, I was starting to make like drum and bass and that kind of thing, but bassline was like a new thing to me. I was like, oh, it's pretty sweet, so I hopped on that. And that's when I formed the whole Usual Suspect thing. And to be honest, like with actually starting that, like I had no idea what I was doing, man. Like I ripped my logo from like my uni logo, mate. Like I just took the U. I took the U out of Bournemouth University and just like chopped a bit off in Photoshop. I was like, yeah, that'll do. But,
Did you ever tell them?
Like I didn't, but then there was like a graphic designer who went to like the sister uni, which is like the arts one, and they just their mate Liam rang me up and he was like, I swear that's the BU logo, and I was like, no, it's definitely not.
No, it's never that. It was never that. No, none of that.
No way.
I didn't know that. No, I don't know that.
No idea.
Okay, so you're now in a position then where you've kind of got this name, you've got a logo somehow. We're not going to say how you got it, but you're in this position now. So how do you then go on from sort of getting a sort of basic understanding of what's going on musically to sort of building Usual Suspect into what it's become?
Yeah, but I mean, that was the thing. Like, I completely absorbed myself in social media and like researching it basically. And obviously, like, Legoland was like the biggest help for that. But it was all about, and obviously being at uni as well, like I'd literally wake up every day and like I'm networking with people and surrounding myself with musical people and that kind of thing. And it really helps to just go out and do that and see what other people are doing and how they're doing it. And I was doing that really before I started. I mean, I knew I wanted to put my own twist on it because, like I said, I was making like weird sounds before, and I was like, I want to bring this in eventually, but they ain't ready for that yet. So I was just, trying to get on to actually getting some shows and that kind of thing. And I literally used Legoland, man. Like I'd post like the classic like speaker video where you go mad with the camera. And it just picked up, and yeah, like I say, I was in the right place for shows and stuff like that. So I was getting my first bookings, and then I mean the shows are really what pushes it to the next level, I think, which is why I've held off this year as well. Because once I got into that, it was just like you can show people your dubs, and people take videos of that and they share it around. And it's just social media, mate. Like it just circulates and starts to pick up that way. And yeah, that was on a pretty good track for that year, especially. I think it was 2018, 2017. I can't really remember now.
Definitely, man. I mean, the interesting thing with this is obviously when we do these interviews, a lot of the time people talk for hours and hours and hours about like the kind of processes behind their sort of production, like their inspirations and stuff. But the interesting thing about this one is you seem to have gone into it with this kind of idea of the social media side of it being just as important.
Yeah, 100%. I think because, like I am before that point, and I've always been like very nitty gritty detailed with my production, and I still am. But now I think because at the time I would have told you like that, it's all about the production, blah, 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 blah. But now since I've gone through with the whole journey of a whole alias already, and I realise how important it actually is to have that as well, like, because without that, you are just a bedroom producer and you won't get that bit further, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. And like I say, now I find myself, I enjoy just making music and programming sounds and stuff more than all of that. So yeah, I suppose you could say it's a bit more relaxed now in terms of like the social media and stuff. Like I said, I've been pretty quiet. I haven't really been focusing on that. But you know, if you want to make that jump to becoming like a DJ or a producer who's like known and stuff, if you don't like chase up the social media, like, I mean, like there's one guy, my mate Paladin, at the moment, he's like absolutely smashing it with that stuff. Like he's all over like TikTok and, you know, like really
I'm assuming he's the one that's doing the sort of remixes, isn't he?
Yeah.
I saw the he put one up the other day. He did a garage remix of a tune. I can't remember the name. It was a colour.
Yeah, Lemonade.
Lemonade. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, colour. Lemon. I don't know why I think lemon's a colour. But yeah. I saw that clip, and I think stuff like that. It's so kind of essential now, and I think that the reason it's so essential is because so many people do have access to production software. So many people have access to tutorials. So it's almost as if the sort of stuff that was hidden away beforehand is now freely available. So you need to stand out in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I mean, you know, the first thing you think is everyone has access to it. Like, this is a really good thing, but it can also be not a bad thing. But I mean, you know, there's people that you can make like your first tune and then put it straight out, and like loads of people can hear it, and that can either set you off on a, you know, really good foot, or it can put you in a bad place where your music might die off within like 6 months because like you didn't take the time to, you know, like properly put your own sort of spin on it and like make sure you've got like longevity or that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know, the whole like access to all the platforms and stuff, and like having the software and everything, it's great. But like you say, it's I don't want to say saturated, because that's what every producer will say to you now, like, oh, it's too saturated. But like, there's a lot of producers out there, and because of that, the sound is changing constantly, and you've got to try and keep ahead and, you know, like say, stand out, do something different. So yeah, I think that's what he's doing. Like, he's taking advantage of TikTok, which is like a kind of new thing to do, I suppose, and it's going pretty well for him, I think. Yeah,
definitely, man. Okay, so kind of with that then, obviously I want to make sure we're getting as much kind of information out of you as possible over the course of this sort of half an hour breakdown, and we've got some bangers to get into. We opened up with a tune called Skeg 4. I don't know if that's the final finished title or I've named it wrong, but a really, really cool tune, man, in the general sort of layout of things. Very, very different, I feel.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, that's me kind of approaching, like, trying to, you know, do my research and approach new modern stars, because, like I said, I was always, like, really neuro-funky, like, technical based, and, yeah, I mean, the name actually, like, this is what I mean about how it's just, like, relaxed now, like, I used to really think about a name and stuff, but Skeg 4 is just, I was at a party with my mates, like, it's quite a while back, I suppose, now, I don't know, but, yeah, I'm like, we just didn't have a group chat, and then we were like, oh, what should we name our group chat? Like, and then someone was like, Skeg 4. I literally just picked that name and just used that because I was working on that track at the time. But yeah, no, the actual track itself, yeah, like, so that's about, it's literally me traversing into like newer styles, like more melodic. You know, I've been like playing guitar and piano and stuff, trying to get more melody into my music to be less technical and more musical. So, I mean, that was my first kind of attempt at doing that kind of thing. I actually really enjoyed it, man, like just being more musical in general, because I came into this music through computers solely. Like, I don't have a musical background at all. I don't have a musical family. I've always loved listening to music, but, you know, I didn't play an instrument or anything as a kid. So I just always was on computers and learning software and stuff. So now I want to try and get more musical with it, and sort of see where that can take me.
Amazing, man. No, I agree, and I think it's really, really cool to see the progression, to be honest with you, and hear that musicality become very, 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 very like prominent within your sound. I feel that's a real sign of progression for any artist, especially someone who has come up more from the sort of technical side of things rather than the musical side of things. What we're going to do next, we're going to jump into a tune called Humanoid. So talk to me about this one briefly. What can we expect to hear when this one drops?
Okay, so I mean, from this one, you can tell that this is from when I was in more of my neuro stage, before I started, you know, looking into new genres and stuff. It's just heavily like kind of noisier inspired, like kind of gritty. It's almost got a kind of jump uppy feel to it, really. But I made this one purely just for like the rave, mate. Like just one that's just like a bit boppy, like people can like bounce around to it and that kind of thing. And yeah, so it's quite a while ago, like I say, way back in the year that I was making it now, but it's pretty much the last one I made before I sat back and was like, right, it's just time to like start getting a bit more melodic, and then maybe only having a little bit of experimental stuff in it. So
there we go. Right then, we're going to get into this one now. It's just gone 9:15. We are live on the line with man like usual suspect. Keep it locked, people. Don't go anywhere. It's Breakfast with Kovu here on Trickstar Radio.
With CubCamTV.
Trickstar Radio.